Yesterday's video was a traditional meta deck. It was a deck that you can expect to perform well on the ladder. It's the kind of deck that's been around and successful a lot recently. Today we're getting back to our roots and playing something a little less conventional. I need to remind you all, Unite the Houses still exists, and I'm still trying to get it nerfed. That's right, I still think Unite the Houses is a liability. I need you all to play this on the ladder. This is the current version that I've been using as of late. As always, deck code will be in the video description. We're going to go play 2 games, win or lose. Strong chance I just end up losing both of them, but if you have not heard the spiel before, if this is your first time tuning in and you're saying, what is this Unite the Houses nonsense? I've been on a bit of a crusade for the last 2 months, maybe 3, to get Unite the Houses nerfed. Not because it's popular on the ladder, not because I think it's overtly powerful at the moment, but just because when it comes to cards that potentially warp design space, I think Unite the Houses is the biggest offender. It's the only card that says, I don't care what your board looks like, how much health you were at, how many runes you had, I just win. It even goes around Vivid. It does it all, and it's pretty easy to do it from hand, so as more cards get printed, as more sets get released, it becomes even more and more of an issue potentially. If we throw these back but keep this. And so part of it is a little bit of a joke, I'll admit. Part of it's a little bit of a meme, but the goal has been to get it nerfed. I want to get something that's not powerful and not popular to somehow show up on patch notes as being nerfed. It'll be a personal victory. Now the reason we kept this is because against Telvanni, the other 2, which are controlled tools, we would not expect them to be useful, right? Like the Blackhand Messenger is not really a lot to write home about, but this satisfies 3 colors. And so with this particular deck, with the Dominion Unite deck, you're really just hunting for ways to find red, because we've got a lot of ways. Wandering Skeleton is one of them, but we have a lot of ways to naturally
so many beautiful things for
create
potions.
endurance cards. Well, that was a whiff. And so your goal is to try to find red cards. So we run things like Elderly Matron here because this gives you a random animal, and traditionally you hope that you're going to run into something like an Elit. We run Apothecary so that we hopefully get the red elixir, and so on and so forth. We've played no actions so far. We're going to make them pretend that we care about damaging them. The reality is that we don't. We do not want to win by attacking. We are a Unite the Houses deck, but we want them to focus on trying to stop us. See, they're already hovering over that. They're thinking to themselves, what do I want to do? See, we got a reverberating strike that they used. More stuff they use there, the less likely they are. Oh, see, and they're using the fire blooms. This is beautiful. Right now they're thinking, okay, it's a bit of a weird tempo deck. Okay, we found a Unite. That's good. That's good. All good things. All good things. Iron here would be wonderful. But we have no actions to get back, and we really want to save her for getting specific actions back. Ideally, we'd like to find something like Moment of Clarity. That's the all-star in this particular deck.
You'll not be rid of me that easily.
But even something like Tinkering would be kind of nice. Hey, ask and you shall receive. We'll go ahead and grab this. Now this is interesting because we already have access to Endurance, but this is still likely our best option here. You could make the argument for Reconstruction Engine, but we're going to go ahead and grab this. And just slap that down. But again, the real thing that you're hunting for with our particular deck is red. The faster that you can find red, the better off you are.
Have another.
This is nice. This will just hang out and be endurance for us. Maybe give us some health. And gonna go ahead and take this iron into the moment of clarity here.
We fight for the glory of
I think my opponent's
barbarians.
figured out what we're trying to do. And again, we whiff. More endurance options. We don't have a way to give this charge, or else this would be rather cheeky. So maybe we just end up taking this Frost Giant, because that's going to require them to spend a decent amount of removal. It does not have breakthrough, so we could put this in the field lane, and until they remove it, just use it to trade forever. So I say, why not? I say, why not? I don't think I want to use my last ring charge yet, so we're going to hold on to it. There was an argument to be made about maybe your ring charge for Wandering Skeleton here, but...
Let's go then. My time.
Alright, they play the Baroness.
Let's dance.
We find another moment. So, Blackworm Neophyte, when this makes a skeleton, that also, just for the record, gives you access to endurance. And again, with the whiff. Anasi doesn't do a whole lot for us. Winter's Grasp is great at buying us some time, but I actually feel like the Mage's Guild Recruit is not half bad here. I mean, it's that or the Grasp to just further buy us some time. We could play the Grasp and the Skeleton. This just opens up more from-hand possibilities to win. Meaning if we play the Battle Reeve, and then if we find a random red card that's more expensive than like 2 or 3, this gives us more options. So I think we still take this. I think we've got enough stall tools in a deck like ours.
I'll learn the spell yet.
That doing something like this is a great start to things.
My command and rise.
We'll just go ahead and give ourselves a draining skeleton, I suppose. I expect them to take this trade with the Baroness, but it's possible they turn around and hit us. I mean, at the moment, I think we're in a position where we can still afford to take some damage. Well, they do just turn around and hit us. So, Jarl is one of the ways that we can get a hold of red.
Let's dance.
Jarl is one of the ways we can get a hold of red. And so we are very close to pulling this off, actually. The Manticora is obviously great for them, but if we can just stall here for a little bit...
I bark and burn.
This
Interesting.
chance that we took on the Mage's Guild Recruit could just pay off, because we only need, as we're looking at this, 11 Magicka to pull it off all from hand. As long as this stays alive, then we have this, and then Jarl will create the red card right away. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Also going to go ahead and gain 1 more health here as well. And we are just going to try to stall this out a bit. I think that the execute likely comes down. Let's go ahead. Let's play the Elder Gleam here. Maybe we get a cheap red option. We do not, so we'll take this execute just to be extra safe. And we'll go ahead and develop this and a Wandering Skeleton. But really, with the ring here, we're going to have 7, 10, and then because we reduced this cost at 11, we can from hand likely just win this game. And this is exactly why Unite the Houses needs a nerf. Our opponent, our poor opponent, they'll have no opportunity to interact with us at all. It'll just be from hand. Hello. Thanks for playing. Even if we did not already have this on the board, mind you, by developing this, we could also just sacrifice this to go ahead and create a skeleton. We do also have this skeleton here as well. So things are looking good right now.
This should help you.
They will blow this up, but we still have multiple sources of endurance here, and this is gonna be it. We're gonna play the old Jarl here. And now this lights up. We don't even need the Dominion because we have the blue, the everything, and we're gonna raise those banners. That is a Unite victory. That is exactly why the card needs to be nerfed. I say only half serious, of course, but a victory is a victory is a victory. We're doing that Unite thing yet again, gang. I pause. I don't know if that's going to end up coming through in the video. It's been very hot in my office all day as I've been recording. So I opened the windows finally because it's nighttime and nobody's mowing their yard anymore, etc., etc. But I'm pretty sure it's raining now. So I'm a little curious. I don't know if that's going to come through in the video. If it does, I apologize. But we still got at least one more game here. As you know, with these videos, the format is 2 games, win or lose. We always hope for more wins than losses, but with the Unite deck, we're also just happy to get at least one victory. All right, jumping into game 2. Yeah, that's, I'm hearing that through my headphones. You might be hearing that in the recording. I'm sorry if that's the case, but it's just way too hot in here, so I needed it. This is fine. This is actually beautiful. Minus Unite the Houses, this has the potential to be a blowout. This gives us an early, shot and early access to Endurance. We've got the other 3 and there's the Unite. If this pulls the 1-drop Elit or even just the 2-drop Afflicted Elit when this comes down, or this gives us a cheap red card. Oh, sadly. Sadly, we didn't find it. We'll take the Fort because that maybe draws this card. But again, we're just hunting for something cheap and red. Because the idea is you play the skeleton, it gives you access to Endurance. Moonmoth here is another great card that potentially gives you access to Endurance. And now I'm hearing what sounds like a woodpecker. This is all so bizarre, gang. I apologize. All right. I think that this is likely a camel play because we want to be able to save this mud crab to combine with this, and we also would like to maybe find some defense here. This is solid defense, but you want to prioritize your shots at being able to draw red cards. Like, that's your other rule here, just so you know. And we still have a reasonable amount of health against what I assume is a controlling Empire deck. Now, they do have access to a fair amount of removal, so we're going to try to do this from hand, just like last game. The more you can do from hand and prevent them from setting it up, the better off you'll be. Alright, so another Unite. It's not really that big of a deal.
Read my lips.
Interesting. I don't really care about giving them North Point Captain, because again, we have a lot of ways to create Endurance, so we'll take the Haskell here.
You can tell them you thought of it.
Alright. Sadly, still not a red, but we still have multiple ways that we can try to get there. But giving them the captain, I think, is fair here. We don't want to let them have the opportunity to draw a bunch of cards.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
All right.
Get ready to move.
If I had to suspect where this is gonna go, wow, they took the trade for me. I thought they might take the damage in there, but they did not. Take another shot at the crab.
Read my lips. Mouth paws.
This is a bit interesting here as well. I mean, this is a nice control tool that just gives us bodies, but it's also, I think, not as proactive as the agent. I think maybe we take this. It's just we have to, once they play this, we have to start hitting them regularly. That's my biggest concern.
Summoned again.
Fire order.
So, play the Haskell, who naturally rolls a 1, ordering, I guess, but I don't know. I guess maybe you could argue that the Mud Crab was still correct to play first because you don't know what you're going to run into in that regard either. Yeah, it's really starting to come down, gang. I just wanted to cool off, and now it's going to be all noisy. I mean, I have a pretty good noise gate on the microphone, but if I can hear it through these, it makes me a bit worrisome. Yeah, this might have been a mistake. I think taking the 2 moons here would have actually been better for me, because the health gain is nice if they ignore it, and if they keep hitting me to prevent it, then they would have just broken my runes and given me more cards anyway. So I think all that's fine. We're kind of hoping to set up maybe a card draw with the fork this next turn, because we're just trying to dig deep.
Attack!
Murkwater Witch is a solid play here. Does mean that we still have access to a trade here with the fork, though. I guess the real question is, am I going to overdraw? I will actually overdraw. I will actually overdraw. So we're not going to play the fork here quite yet. I think instead what we're going to do is play this first.
I assume you're having fun.
Okay, so we're gonna overdraw 1 card at a minimum, which is you know, a bummer, but it's not a huge deal because we already have multiple unites in hand. So that's always the card you're most concerned about overdrawing, but we would like to again have more shots at cards that make red. Those are our next priority.
Face my blow.
You won't spoil my plan.
Okay. Unless they play something with charge here, they're not really prioritizing making me overdraw, which I think is a bit of a mistake on their part. Like, I already have 1,000,000 cards in hand, so taking this free rune break here, I think was likely correct instead of getting rid of my Mudcrab Merchant, but oh well. We'll overdraw 1 card, but we'll have a lot of cards that we can pitch here.
I'll see you dead. So many beautiful things for potions.
Oh, we did find the red, though. We did find the red, though. You know what? That was actually a mistake on my part just now, using the firebolt. Oh, man. Oh, man. I think in this case what we actually want to do is play this. We want to play the skeleton because if they play something else in the field lane, we get the opportunity to trade into it, produce our endurance card, and then auto win. But the firebolt was a misplay. If I hold the firebolt till next turn, then I can win entirely from hand, because I could play this and then firebolt my own creature. So
Feel the power.
instead, I was gonna say, we're just hoping they play something that we can kind of suicide into. Oh no, no! All right. Well, we thankfully still have more endurance options in our deck somewhere. That is disappointing for sure. So we'll grab this Fortress Guard, and so now we just have to do some quick math for when we can pull the combo off. And that would be next turn, assuming our elixir survives. And so in order to ensure that we get to that point, I'm going to go ahead and do this as well. And cycle here.
This is interesting.
So now it just all comes down to the elixir surviving. Could have won this turn, but again, I made the misplay with the firebolt. You get so used to playing defense, sometimes you forget.
This is interesting.
But we're in a pretty good spot here.
I'll see you dead.
As long as the elixir survives, we win right from hand. Our opponent cannot interact, cannot stop. Does not matter what else they do. And unless they run dismantle, that is it, gang. That is the end of this one. We are gonna Fortress Guard our way to a Unite the Houses. Again, we don't even need the Battle Reef, but we're gonna raise those banners. And just like that, Unite the Houses is 2-0. No losses in this particular video. Please, somebody, Sparky, nerf this thing. It's raining outside. The gods are crying because of how strong Unite the Houses is. Of course, you know I'm saying this all tongue-in-cheek, but I really do encourage this to proliferate on the ladder, annoy folks, play it because it's just a lot of fun. As always, deck code is going to be in the video description. That's it. That's 2 games. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.